Pakistan has descended into chaos, from a power struggle between the government and Imran Khan to a tussle between the former Pak Premier and the Pakistani army, to reports of infighting within the Pakistani military, and then there is a pull and push between the judiciary and the civilian military administration in Pakistan. Hello and welcome to this week's edition of World Today with me, Geeta Mohan, where our top focus will be the turmoil in Pakistan. There is a rumble in the Pakistani army. What's the end game? Will the Pakistan army prevail and Imran Khan be cut to size, or will the PTI change the political course of Pakistan? Let's dive in.
Pakistan is faced with its worst crisis ever. Not because a political upheaval is unknown to this military-controlled nation, but because it comes at a time of significant economic challenges. On the afternoon of May 9th, former Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan was arrested from the premises of the Islamabad High Court by Pakistan Rangers, a paramilitary force. Later, a statement was issued that he was arrested on a warrant issued by the National Accountability Bureau for irregular acquisition of property, leading to a loss of £190 million to the state exchequer.
It was the army which abducted me. And nothing happens without the permission of the army chief. That's how the army works. So clearly, he had ordered the abduction.
The arrest was followed by massive violence across Pakistan, with PTI workers and Imran Khan supporters taking to the streets and attacking army assets and properties. The Pakistani judiciary came to Imran Khan's rescue not only by granting him bail in Al-Qadir Trust case, but also an interim protection from any further action by the current dispensation.
पाकिस्तान की तारीख में पहली बार सुप्रीम कोर्ट ऑफ पाकिस्तान ने तय कर दिया है कि मुल्जिम कोई भी हो, उसके खिलाफ इल्जाम कोई भी हो, वो एक्सेस टू जस्टिस के लिए जब अदालत में आएगा तो उसको गिरफ्तार अदालती प्रेमिसेस या प्रेसिडेंस के अंदर से या अहाते के अंदर से गिरफ्तार नहीं किया जा सकता। जब तक अदालत फैसला नहीं करती कि उसकी जमानत है या नहीं है, जब तक अदालत फैसला नहीं करती कि वो जेल जाएगा या वो घर जाएगा, ये पुलिस का, नैब का और जो बाकी मावराए कानून जितने भी इदारे हैं और जितनी भी डिस्पेंसेशंस हैं मुल्क के, उनके लिए ये प्रिंसिपल तय कर दिया गया है।
Pakistan's Minister for Information and Broadcasting, Maryam Aurangzeb, set the stage for what would follow, calling it a well-thought-out plan which came under purview of sedition and treason, leading to mass arrests, including that of the top PTI leadership.
आप सब ने सुनी कि पीटीआई की क़यादत ने किस तरह वायलेंस को इंसाइट किया और पीटीआई की क़यादत ने इमरान खान के हुक्म के ऊपर हमला आवर होने के ऑर्डर्स दिए.
Since the time the 9th May incident happened, Pakistan's military establishment and the current government have now decided that they are not going to spare anyone who was part of those riots, and they are going to make sure that all those arrested and taken into custody, the culprits behind it, the ones who instigated it, the ones who planned it, the ones who provoked it, and internal and external elements, everyone will be dealt with an iron hand.
Now what stares Imran Khan in the face is a case in Pakistan's military courts, which is outside the purview of the judiciary.
All these incidents were taken very seriously by the establishment, and now the civilian government and the military both have decided to try all those people, all those civilians under the Pakistan Army Act, and they will be tried in the military courts. This is something very incongruous, because Pakistan is being run by the constitution, a constitutional government. The parliament is there, the courts are there, and the law-abiding citizens, the lawyers and the legal community wonder how could a civilian be tried under the martial law or the military courts, because this can be done only when there is no constitution. Constitution has been suspended or abrogated. So this is very strange and being criticized by the civil rights organization in Pakistan and elsewhere outside Pakistan.
Interestingly, Pakistan currently does not have military courts. The courts were abolished and shut down with a restriction to not implicate any civilian under the Army Act or the Official Secret Act. In view of the distrust prevailing in the government on judiciary, accusing them of providing blanket cover to Imran Khan, reinstatement of military courts is on the cards through National Action Plan by bringing a bill in Parliament to amend the Constitution and the Army Act and expand its jurisdiction and allow it to try civilians on terror charges in military courts under Official Secrets Act.
Current government is not protecting the legal rights and the civil rights of the people of Pakistan, though it is a civilian government in name, but practically it is surrendering all its power to the establishment, to the military, and that's very unfortunate.
What gave Imran Khan a political fillip after his removal was the fact that Pakistani Army's house was not in order, but after the appointment of Asif Munir as Army Chief, who has a long term ahead, top Pakistani generals are now rallying behind General Munir. Also, the attack on army assets was the last straw for those who were supporting Imran Khan within the establishment. Then what is the end game? Option 1, Imran Khan will be fixed through the military courts. Option 2, long arrest and disqualification. Option 3, a plane on standby for him to leave the country. An ideal situation for the Pakistani army. Option 4, splitting up the party. With Imran Khan digging in his heels, it is the third option that seems to be turning into reality. Many important leaders of PTI have started parting ways from the party. Parting leaders maintain that they cannot support attacks on military installations for political gains. If PTI starts dissipating, then Imran Khan will have to take a call on whether if continuing this people's movement is an option at all. Toppling of governments have been a common feature in Pakistan's political history. Each of the past 5 prime ministers have been indicted or imprisoned after leaving office. For a man who rose to leadership in 2018 with the countenance of the army and was removed from office in 2022 after he lost that backing, there is only one power that prevails: the Pakistan Army.
Pakistan's rising political temperature is happening at a time when the country is going through its worst economic crisis in history. With the politics of confrontation bringing state institutions on revenge mode, locals continue to suffer and struggle to make ends of basic needs meet on a daily basis, with no sight of any respite in the coming days. This is Zamza Amir in Islamabad for India Today.
So there is rumble within the Pak Army, but there is a lot of options now that we've looked at when it comes to Imran Khan. Joining me on Spotlight this weekend is Azaz Saeed, a senior journalist from Islamabad, also host of a prominent talk show called Talking Shock. Azaz, many thanks for joining us here on World Today. What we're looking at are various options: a plane on standby asking Imran Khan to leave, long incarceration, so on and so forth. But it's the most important one could very well be banning of PTI or labeling it a terror organization. Is that ultra-virus of the Constitution, rules and norms of Pakistan?
No, Geeta. Geeta, according to Pakistan's Anti-Terrorism Act 1999, there are sections over there following which any party can be banned if that party is found involved in violence, spreading in violence, carrying out in violence, and if the provincial governments and the intelligence agencies, they report the federal government that any particular party is involved in violence, then federal government can take this severe action and they can ban that particular political party under the anti-terrorism laws. Easiest way to ban any political party is banning that political party under the ATA. In this particular case of Imran Khan and his party, as you know that on 9th of May, the political party leaders and their followers, they ransacked different military installations, police installations, rangers installations, civil military authorities, they came under attack. So this is a very serious thing.
Is the Pakistani army's house in order? Is everybody rallying behind the army chief right now or not? Because we did see camps, we've seen conversations of army generals or lieutenant generals' wives with other officers, and it seems like the army's house is really not in order. He might have just had 6 months and he has a long way to go. But where do you see the military right now? Do you see them really gather together, unite together to take down Imran Khan?
Geeta, I remained a staunch critic of Pakistan Army and Army's role in politics. But at this very time, when you are raising this particular question, that what you are understanding, that Army's house is not in order, I would say that this is not correct. Army is very much united under the command of its chief. It looks bad as a journalist. I'm saying it, you know, I myself, but I'm trying to tell you the exact situation. Yeah, I'm trying to tell you the exact situation over here. You know, if Pakistan Army was not united under Army Chief General Asim Munir, there would have been problem in sacking the Corps Commander Lahore. There would have been problem in handling many other things. Army Chief General Asim Munir and the Army is very much united over here. Yes, there are problems that some people who carry the narrative of Mr. Imran Khan, they are there, and we see that some retired officers, they've been following Imran Khan, they've been preaching Imran Khan. And when we talk about the retired people and women, so we also see that retired people also live in the cantonments. They also interact with the sitting military officers. But
which is what makes it so interesting, Azaz. Which is what makes it so interesting.
This is what makes it so interesting. But you see that no retired military officer has ratified or has given a go-ahead. Endorsed on for whatever has happened on May 9th.
Right, Azaz, we've completely run out of time, but if you look at the end game for Imran Khan, will he take that plane and leave Pakistan, or will he look at a long incarceration? Very briefly.
To my understanding, this is one option before him, but as yet, government has not offered him going abroad. Government wants him to be prosecuted before the general elections, because government thinks that if Imran Khan is out, then they are leaving a plain ground before him to play whatever he wants to play. So this is one option under the constitution of the federal government, but they have not offered this to Imran Khan because they know that if Imran Khan is skipping the solid cases registered against him, then it would be a problem later on for the government.
And if he goes abroad, he'll become a larger hero. As I said, many thanks for joining us here on World Today. In fact, what we're looking at and the larger picture that Azaz very clearly has spelled out is, no matter what happens, the Pakistani army will certainly prevail in ensuring Imran Khan is contained. Thailand created history by overthrowing the military-backed government and voting for the Progressive Move Forward party, which garnered huge support among the young population of Thailand. But what does this political rout mean for the junta? Take a look at this report.
The landslide victory of two progressive political parties in Thailand's election on Sunday may signal the end of years of control by factions backed by the military establishment, going back to the country's coup in 2014. And it also highlights the number of people openly questioning the role of the monarchy there, particularly among younger generations, a subject that was once considered taboo. The biggest victor, the Move Forward Party, and its ally, the Pheu Thai Party, have now agreed to form a coalition. But their wins don't necessarily mean that they can take power or that Move Forward's leader, Pitta Limjaroenrat, can become prime minister, because the military and its allies still have options.
Quite a hefty price to pay for someone who is thinking of abolishing the election results or forming a minority government.
Thitinan Pongsudarak is a political science professor at the Chulalongkorn University in Bangkok. He tells Reuters what brought Move Forward this far and what the days ahead could hold.
Move Forward has welfare policies, but Move Forward moves to the new frontier. It's no longer about populism. So actually, they have tapped into a lot of sentiments that have been feeling, I think, that Thailand needs to change. And that change has to do with the reform of the military, the monarchy, getting rid of the draft. So I think a military coup for them would be the last resort. We might see some manipulation, some subversion. Short of a military coup, we've seen party dissolutions in the past, disqualifications of politicians, and, you know, Kun Pitha, leader of Move Forward, is under a charge, could be disqualified. So we might see something like that. But if there's subversion of the result from yesterday, which is a very strong mandate, we could very well see some social unrest as a result.
Scenes like this 3 years ago helped give rise to these election results. Student-led protests against the power of the monarchy and the military. Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha first came to power in the 2014 coup. The most immediate hurdle to Pitta replacing the Prime Minister, seen here, is Pitta needs to command a majority in Parliament. The issue with that is that members of one of the chambers of Parliament, the Senate, were appointed by the military after the coup and have traditionally sided with parties led by generals. The progressive parties are calling for the Senate to respect the will of the people. The military says it only intervenes in civilian politics when it has to act to save the nation from chaos, and has ruled out any involvement in the election.
Yet another power tussle. The 20-year rule of Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan saw a close fight which resulted in a runoff with his main rival Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu. As both sides didn't secure 50% of the votes that's required, there will be a second poll on the 28th of May.
Turkey is headed for a runoff vote in 2 weeks' time after neither Recep Tayyip Erdogan or his main challenger Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu won an outright majority in Sunday's election. The results reflect the deep polarization in a country at a political crossroads. Erdogan has led the NATO member for 20 years, and the vote was seen as a verdict on his increasingly authoritarian path. Kılıçdaroğlu, who leads a six-party opposition alliance determined to unseat him, urged his supporters to be patient and accused Erdogan's party of interfering with the counting and reporting of results. He said he will win in the runoff against Erdogan. Erdogan performed better than pre-election polls had predicted. He appeared in a confident and combative mood afterward, addressing his supporters in Ankara. He claimed to be millions of votes ahead of his competitor, but stopped short of declaring an outright victory. The election was held against the backdrop of soaring inflation and in the aftermath of devastating earthquakes. Now the country of 85 million people faces 2 weeks of uncertainty that could rattle markets. The question of who eventually becomes Turkey's next president will reverberate well beyond its borders. As one of Russian leader Vladimir Putin's closest allies, a defeat for Erdogan would likely unnerve the Kremlin but comfort the Biden administration, as well as many European and Middle Eastern leaders who've had troubled relations with Erdogan.
Time for World at a Glance, where we take you through some other interesting stories from across the globe.
American President Joe Biden postponed his plans to travel to Australia and Papua New Guinea due to an unfolding crisis over the US debt ceiling, prompting also the cancellation of the Sydney Quad meeting. Biden had planned to attend the 4 Quad nations, the United States, Japan, Australia and India meeting. The Quad group was formed with a mind toward countering China's influence in the Indo-Pacific region. Turkey President Tayyip Erdogan announced the extension of Ukraine's Black Sea grain deal a day before Russia could quit the pact over obstacles to its grain and fertilizer exports. The deal has been extended for 2 more months. The United Nations and Turkey brokered the Black Sea deal for an initial 120 days in July last year to help tackle a global food crisis that has been aggravated by Moscow's invasion of Ukraine. Former French President Nicolas Sarkozy has lost his appeal against a 2021 conviction for corruption and influence peddling on Wednesday. The appellate court upheld a 3-year prison sentence to Sarkozy. 2 of those years were suspended, and Sarkozy will wear an electronic bracelet instead of going to jail for the remaining year under house arrest. Sarkozy, who served as president between 2012 and 2017, has been convicted twice in separate cases, both of which he has appealed. 3 big global car makers have called on the UK government to renegotiate the Brexit deal. British car factories will be forced to close, affecting thousands of jobs if the government does not renegotiate the Brexit provisions. The car makers have urged the government to reach an agreement with the European Union about extending current rules on sourcing of parts until 2027 instead of 2024.
That's all in this show from me, but before I go, let's take a look at the 32nd Southeast Asian Games, which drew to a close on the 17th of May with a spectacular closing ceremony at Moradok Teko National Stadium in Phnom Penh, Cambodia. The ceremony featured musical and art performances as well as a parade of some of the SEA Games competitors. Goodbye and take care.